Hello there, so I'm Kassi. I'm a therapist and an artist. My passion is self-expression, and I do this through talking therapy, through writing and sharing, through witnessing, through making intuitive collage and mixed media art. So I invite you to, I playfully invite you to break all the rules. That, I feel, is one of the most important tasks of my work, to help you to break the rules that keep you quite small and possibly in a very particular shape. So when I say I invite you to break the rules, I don't mean the rules of the law. I'm not talking about that. But the rules that I'm talking about are the ones that restrict and restrain us. They hold us back. They're the ones that say, you should do this, you ought to do that, you must, you mustn't, you shouldn't. Those kind of rules that really conditioned us as we were growing up in childhood and took us away from who we really truly were to become a conditioned self that would fit in really well in the community and in the world, which I can definitely see positives in that, most definitely. There are some things that really get in the way of our confidence and our self-esteem because we're not being who we truly are, we're being the thing that we were raised to be. And that is a conditioned self, and it creates all sorts of dissonance within. It creates stress and anxiety, pain, headaches, all sorts of very unpleasant experiences that we can have in our body. And so when you participate in my courses with me, whether they're self-paced or in person, you will probably discover your critic and how to manage and relate better with your critic. The other important part of my work is to help people to relate with themselves in a more relaxed but relational way. So I will help you to really hear yourself and really see yourself, and to begin to relate with yourself with empathy and with love and acceptance and compassion, all those things that are very important for us, so that our stress levels reduce and our body pain eases and we live in a much more, a happier and more satisfying way. So my creativity supports me in so many different ways. It's really difficult to know which way to answer this. But I guess particularly it brings me into the present moment. It's very mindful. And with that mindfulness comes a reduction in stress and anxiety. It lifts my mood and it helps my nervous system to regulate so that my immune system can work really well. And if my immune system is functioning, then I am healthy and well. It also allows me to really know myself fully. I get an opportunity to really hear myself, to see myself. Everything in my life is coming up in my art. So I'm really able to be aware of who I am and what's happening for me in my world. Self-expression allows me to release anything that is trapped inside of me, anything that has been hidden or denied, forgotten, ignored, suppressed or repressed, any of these things that need to find their way out of me into the world so that my body can be released from all of that is going to help me feel much healthier and well and less stressed. There is a whole body of research related to the withholding of our secrets, our stories, everyday life events that perhaps we were told, nobody's interested in you, what are you doing sharing this? We receive so many messages that say don't do this and don't do that, don't be who you are. And then you meet someone like me who says, I want to know all about who you are. I want to know everything about you. I want you to release it all. And I will offer you empathy and I will offer you acceptance. So when we express our stories that we've had trapped or hidden or lost inside of us, we begin to feel so much better. We feel freer. We feel more released. Our bodies can move around. We can feel like we want to go and dance and sing and be happy, almost like we've been restricted for so many years with chains that held us back. I believe my biggest struggle is comparison and the inner critic. It causes lack of self-esteem and lowers my confidence. She was often compared in my family to others. Like, why can't you be clever like so-and-so? Why aren't you any good at maths when so-and-so is? Why is it you just want to sit quietly and doodle and play music all day? Those kind of questions which come from the inner critic and that critical parent of the family system, they truly knock our confidence. My self-esteem lowers. I don't feel good enough, I get wobbly and anxious, and there's no way my creativity is going to flow under these kind of circumstances. So the way I deal with it is through soothing self-talk. And I'll say to you the kind of thing that I say to myself and hope that that helps you. Please don't look at other people's art and compare yourself to theirs. Please look at others' art and gaze in softly and notice how you feel and what you love about what you're seeing. But don't compare yours to theirs, because you can't create art the way another person creates art, and they can't create art the way you create art. Every one of us has our own unique voice. We have our own sounding voice, we have our own personality, and we have our own unique process when we create art. So comparing ourselves to others really does cause so much stress and anxiety, but it also destroys every shred of our confidence. If I really could just almost beg you, please don't compare yourself to anybody else. Value and love what you create. However it is in that moment, however it is today, that is the way you make art. And this will be the thing that can free you up to stop comparison, to let go of that inner critic. The critical voice comes from way back in time through our family of origin and those generations before. So much worry and fear around what people will think of us. I think when we're ourselves, that is when we're most appreciated and loved. If we're all a carbon copy of each other, I think it'd be pretty boring. So this is a really hard question to answer because there's so many different things that I want to do and want to learn, how to do better or just learn about. So if I was to pick one of those things that I would most like to develop, I believe it would be to encourage and share skills to develop the relationship that we have with ourselves. So when we're making our art, we really listen to ourselves, we tune inward, we develop our self-awareness and we develop our empathy towards ourselves, our acceptance of ourselves, to have self-love and to be as real as we possibly can be with ourselves and with others. because these skills will actually rub off on all of our relationships, not just with ourselves. But I would like to encourage people to have more empathy and self-acceptance, especially around creativity, because, well, it's such a vulnerable making activity. We're bearing our soul, we're really showing everyone who we are through our art, if we share it anyway. And so when we express who we are onto paper, and that could be in writing, it could be with art or collage, but however we express ourselves, it does make us feel quite vulnerable. And we almost want to, hide away. It's like, oh my goodness, don't say anything, don't say anything to me about it. We can't bear to receive any kind of feedback. And I really do think it's because we've experienced clumsy feedback and painful feedback. We haven't received empathy, we haven't received acceptance. We've probably been told what could be better. Well, if you did this, if you did that, and that comparison thing might come in too. Well, when you see so-and-so and what they've done, this is all the stuff that I would like to encourage people away from, and to come back into themselves, and to really, really develop that relationship with themselves, how they're feeling, what they most want to do, to go with their impulses in the moment. So yeah, I actually do feel very passionate about this, and really would like to bring about more of this understanding. So yeah, I actually feel quite geared up to making a course on this now. I think the first thing is that it's a beginning. When we're new to something, it is a beginning, and with beginnings, our critic tends to pop out, wants to keep us on our toes and make sure we do everything correctly and right. So when we start something new, we're going to get wobbly and anxious, and the critic will pop up and give us quite a lot of rules to follow. It's not helpful. I believe that we all have to start somewhere, and even if that is just one finger mark across the page, that is a beginning. And to keep going and not to give up. When you see a toddler starting to stand up, they sort of manage to get up on their wobbly legs and they're holding onto a sofa or a chair, and then they flop back down on the floor. We don't say, no, this one's not going to be much of a walker. What we tend to say is, up you get, and encourage them to get back up and try it again. So after you've made that very first mark, please keep going, don't give up. Keep going and keep playing, and just go with your impulses and trust that you have got everything you need inside of you to create art. Your voice is already there, your personality is already there. All you have to do is allow your body, your fingers, to show you the way, and what comes out of you will be an expression of who you are. And that's all that matters. That if you trust your fingers, go with your gut, allow yourself to, whatever you have interest in, get hold of that thing and use it. Just play, trust and know that whatever you've got inside of you has a way of coming out, and whatever comes out of you is your art. And just keep going. Please don't stop. Please keep going. Especially when you get that feeling of just loving being with all your paints and the colours and the textures, how it makes you feel inside, that lovely joyous feeling that we get when we're making art. Please keep going. So what we're going to be doing for this lesson, we're going to be creating an intuitive soulscape. And this is a very exciting piece of work. This is a way of getting in touch with and expressing those different parts of self We're all made up of many, many parts of ourselves. We've got a part that just wants to be quiet and chill out on the sofa, and another part that's like, oh yeah, I definitely want to go out for dinner, or I definitely want to go to that party. So we've got many different parts, and they often conflict and contrast with each other. That's just who we are as humans. So when we make an intuitive soulscape, this is mine here, it will help us to express all those different parts of who we are, and we don't need to know or think or plan. We're going to let our fingers and our body wisdom show us who we are through papers, through wool, through string, through glitter, through anything you want to use. And you might solely want to use paint, and that's fine, but you might want to do it the way I've done it through mixed media. So although this is mine, yours won't look anything like this. Everybody will create something totally unique to who they are, and that's what I most love about this process. Because we are all unique and individual, we're not all the same. So this speaks of my passionate part of me, the part of me who likes to go wandering in the countryside on her own and daydream, the part of me who is full of love for everybody and everything, and the part of me that likes to hide away quietly and not be seen at all. So all my very different conflicting and contrasting parts are seen in this. The birds, they don't like to be pinned down, and this is the part of me that likes to be free to fly off whenever she pleases. Being trapped and tied down is not good for my soul, and so those birds speak of that for me. So whatever you create will be absolutely unique to you and will speak of who you are, as mine does for me. So, shall we make a start? So I'm using Bindex as an adhesive. You could use gel medium, you could water down a little bit of school glue just to make it less, less dense. I've got a couple of brushes which I'll use for the adhesive. I've got some scissors in case I want to be neat and tidy and trim. And I've got my fingers because I like to tear. I'd like to invite you to turn off all your thinking and planning and let your fingers go wandering through all of your lovely papers, wrapping paper, old envelopes, stamps, maps, music paper. It really could be anything paper-wise at all that just appeals to you. And I'll just show you a few bits that I've brought. This grabbed my attention. This is wrapping paper. It's a whole roll. I love it. And this paper, I love the colours in it. I love that it's bright and uplifting. It's florally. This speaks to me of that part of me that loves nature, loves being out in the wildflowers. And I also love that it's covered in shimmery glitter. Love it. So I might use some of this. Found this paper, which again I love. May use it, may not. Just bring anything at all that appeals to you. This absolutely gorgeous wrapping paper. This speaks of my passionate self. I'm a very passionate person in many, many ways. And this just absolutely speaks of that passionate part of me. What else have I got here? This more floral. I love this wrapping paper. Again, it's got a shimmery gold in the middle of all the flowers, but it's also got the very delicate and lots of sort of daisy-like flowers. So I love that too. I'm just keeping a pile of papers beside me. More tissue. And I'll probably bring loads of stuff that I won't use. Oh wow, look at that. So you can see the different parts of myself coming out, from the London buses, the deep, passionate part of me, the very florally, pretty, delicate, feminine parts of me, the big crazy daisies, which I adore. I have no idea which bits I'll use because my fingers are going to choose. So I've got lots and lots of things here, and I'm not finished yet gathering. I'm going to go and do a bit more gathering. So please gather up anything at all that speaks to you. Anything, glitters, sequins, anything at all, bring it back and we're going to make a start. Okay, step is for us to start tearing up some strips of our papers. That we've chosen. This really is very intuitive, so we're going to do this by feeling with our fingers. We're going to let this unfold in the moment without the need to plan or think. Our body wisdom is going to be working really intuitively, and it will express different parts of us. I'm passionate about helping people make life change. I'm passionate in my relationships. Very passionate. Now, I know from experience that tissue doesn't tear very well, so I'm going to have to cut this. So just keep tearing up what you want. Just trust. Do your very, very best not to think or plan. Inside of us, we've got many different parts, and those parts are often contradictory. Like the part of us that will say, oh, I'd really like to go to that party. And then another part is like, oh, but I'd really like to just sit and watch TV tonight. I am somebody who says I love a lot. I love this, I love that. So let's have some hearts that symbolise my love. Just trust. Everything's going to work out just fine. I don't need to worry about the end product. You might like to notice how you feel as you tear, because well, I've got a perfectionist part of me who probably would get a bit distressed about just tearing randomly. This paper I've used a fair bit over time, and it tends to symbolise something a little sad and a little dark at times, so I know that about that paper. And I do have a part of me that loves fields full of flowers and just wandering along through fields without any pressure. Gosh, that's luscious, that. How much passion do you want, Cass? Yeah, I think I want lots of passion. Just going to move them to the side. So what we're going to do is let our fingers choose where we're going to attach our layers. And it may well be that your layers go crisscross all over the place. They may go like a landscape all across. They could go any way you want. I don't want to restrict you in any way, because my way is simply my way, and it doesn't mean it's the right way. It simply is just my way. So I would encourage you, just take a blob of that on here. You might like to put yours on a plate. I'm quite random and messy. And we're going to attach the adhesive and then let our fingers decide where this particular piece is going to go. So I'm not going to plan or think. Okay. This is the part of me that loves wandering aimlessly through flowers and fields of corn and wheat, just in a very relaxed way. I don't know how this is going to stick. It may not stick well because it's the kind of paper that is very shiny and not foil, but it's not everyday average paper. It's quite plasticky, I think. Where do I want my passion? I want it the other way around. Yeah, just go with your fingers. If your fingers want it a certain way, just trust that and let that happen. Yeah, so it's not going on perfectly, which I've got a perfectionist part of me that says, oh no, I don't want any wrinkles or creases. And then another part of me says, it's okay, just chill out, we'll just let this happen, it's going to be fine. Oh, yes, I can feel myself relaxing as I say that. Okay, what do my fingers want now? So you could just notice all those kind of things that are going on inside of you, the things that you're saying to yourself. Like, oh dear, these are going over the edge. I don't like that. Or, I love the way that these things are going over the edge. Okay, so that's some of my sadness that I sometimes feel going on. Do your best to work quite quickly, because this will stop you from thinking. It will get in the way of thinking and planning if you work quite quickly. Oh yeah, I love that. Just a big sigh. When we sigh, our sighing can say so much for us. It's like an expression of ourselves without the need for words. Yeah, that's my perfectionist at work, trying to line that up with the bottom of the paper. Just noticing and smiling with affection. I'm even going to go as far as doing this. That's how perfectionistic this part is. I'm just going to accept her, that she's around, wanting to get things right, even though I don't believe there's a right or a wrong. Just going to let her do it. Yeah, she's around, she wants to get things just right, and if she doesn't, she'll be feeling anxious. I could soothe her a little bit and say, it's okay, we don't have to worry about getting things perfect. Yeah, I like. Might like to turn this round and see what it looks like the other way round. I rather like it that way round. Can have some more passion. Some of my passionate part. And where do I want it? It's quite jaggedy, that piece there. And it does speak of grief and loss for me still. And grief and loss is a bit jaggedy. Well, that's my experience of it. So it seems very apt. So that's layering on top of some of my other parts. It's a bit like a veil because it's transparent. This seems connected to my grandmother. Just noticing the colours, and I've used it before and it symbolised my grandmother. And it still does. Oh, it's so pretty. The colours, those colours, especially the lilacs and the pinks, the pinky purples, the lavender shades, right next to my grief and loss, which makes sense to me. Big sigh, Cass. Yeah, I seem to be making them more the length that they are now, rather than letting them overlap. That perfectionist part of me popped up before and has got me back on track. Trying to keep everything neat and tidy. Just keep layering. Putting some passion next to my grief and loss and my grandmother. So I wonder if you notice that you do have lots of different parts of yourself. You know, I've got a part of me that wants to go to a party and a part of me who really doesn't want to go to any parties. And then I've got another part of me who loves to go training and learning new things. But then, oh, what an effort. I've got to book trains and go somewhere. So I've got that part of me who doesn't want to have to travel there. Just keep going, keep trusting. This is all going to work out just fine. Even if you're at a stage where you're starting to not believe that, you think, oh no, I don't like this, I think it's going to all go wrong. Just keep going. That's my loving being in nature part. I want more love in here. I just don't know where I want my love. So I'm getting into a thinking place. I don't know if you can hear me. That to me sounds like I'm thinking rather than trusting my fingers to just show me the way to go. I don't feel like it's layered enough, and you know, I've got quite a strong personality and I've got lots of different layers and parts of me, and so although these layers are here, It doesn't mean to say other layers won't emerge on top of or push forward to be that very excitable part that wants to join in, or that part that can be, well, very playful and good fun. I'm going to have some more of this. I'm now adding the Bindex on top rather than onto the actual torn up pieces. Want some more passion. Yeah, it's almost like the different parts of me sort of step forward and say, well, hang on a minute, don't leave me out, there's more of me to be seen or known. And just tear things until they feel right for your fingers, not thinking or planning. But somehow our body says, yep, that's exactly how it's meant to be. The quicker we work, the less chance our critic and our thinking can get involved. Because for me, once we start thinking and planning, doubt creeps in, which for me is the critic. Are you sure about this? Do you really want that there? Yeah, my critic's getting involved. My critic's saying, oh, Cass, really? Do you really need all this? Yeah, my critic's a male, and he's actually going as far as calling this a mess. Like, yeah, it's okay. Don't need to worry, critic. I'm just exploring all the different parts of me, and, you know, we're all made up of many parts, so this isn't going to be very plain and simple, especially with my personality, because I'm very creative. Yeah, my critic's settling down again. Oh, okay. I'll let you get on with it then. You seem to know what you're doing. Yeah, he's still got that kind of knowing voice about him, because he can be quite bossy for me. I've figured out that my critic's happy as long as someone's in charge. Whether that's me or him, then he's happy. He can't seem to be at peace unless somebody's running the show. Oh, I love all these different colours and parts of me. I guess when I say I love all these parts of me, I guess I'm saying that, well, you know, wow, maybe I love me. Gosh, imagine that. Little row of robins. And remind me of my gran. I'm going to go looking for some ribbons. So if there's anything you want, any textures, glitter, sequins, anything at all, wool, bring it and add it. Let your fingers keep showing you who you are. Okay, so I've been digging around in my container of ribbons. I do not know if the Bindex will hold the ribbon material. So this is glitter glue paint. So I'm just going to put some of that along here. I have a feeling that will hold the ribbon more than Bindex will. I've put quite a bit of this along here. Quite like the effect, actually. Oh yeah, quite like that as it is, to be honest. I'm going to put more of that. Yeah, I mean, I do have a sort of, well, I'm very glittery. I guess quite good at attachment stuff. And the glue in this is making me think of attachment and how we can attach to others or let others attach to us. I'm just using the end of an old paintbrush. Yes, I'm rushing ahead a little bit to, well, how's this going to dry and what will it look like? And yeah, well, I don't know. I'm not sure how it's going to dry. I'm just going to wait and see. I love this sari wool. Yeah, I don't want to put it on top of that glittery paint. I'm going to be quite generous with the Bindex. I'm just going to lie that on top of the Bindex. Yeah, that lovely texture seems to speak to me. Just let your fingers guide you. Wherever your fingers want to put that thing, just trust it and let it go there. Oh, I'm loving this. That's not as glittery as the blue. Loving it. Nearly at the end of this. Oh, I will have some more somewhere, I'm sure. So really start going for it. Just let go and, you know, let all those parts be known to you. Your fingers will show you the way. And my critic, of course, is having a field day. Oh my goodness, Cass, this is so gaudy and yeah, very nice. Thank you, critic, for suggesting this to me. But actually, it symbolises me and who I am, and I'm embracing all of me. Full on, this is who I am. I'm having a lot of fun. I really hope that you're enjoying doing yours as well. So I've come back with some, well, this glitter is made up of bronze, copper, gold, green and pink, which I love. And that one is a gorgeous sort of deep blue and a very magenta-y, purpley pink. Yeah, these glitter paints feel like the glue in me that holds people together. I bring groups together. I bring love into a group. I bring acceptance and empathy and help others to really see themselves and love themselves. And this glittery paint seems to be symbolising this for me. Yeah, this kind of feels almost done. I've absolutely loved making it. It's going to be rather hard waiting for it to dry. All the different layers of who I am. Yeah, I want this glitter near the sari wool. So I really hope that you've had a wonderful time doing this, revealing all those different parts of yourself. So I'm just checking out now with myself. How do I feel? Does this feel complete? Yeah, my fingers are going here, wanting to do something here. Seem to be tearing a bit of this up to add. Just check out with your body if there's anything else to do. Oh, I've loved doing this, and I love seeing me in all my colour and texture. It's like looking in a mirror for me, this, and aspects of my personality and my life. So I'm just going to tear up what feels right and then add it. Okay, so I've sensed that I'm really close to the end now, and I do absolutely love this. I went searching and I've come back with 3 little birds. Now, you know, you might have some craft papers with birds on, or sun, moon, trees, butterflies, anything really that you might have that you might want to add. So I've brought 3 birds. These I actually made myself out of card and just coloured them in. But as I say, you could find some in some craft papers. And also this is from wrapping paper. 2 really fabulously amazing gaudy daisies. And I want to add them. So I'm going to. Okay, so I'm just going to let my fingers place them where I want them to be. Yep. I guess these are the parts of me that really do let myself be seen and known. So although I'm very introvert and hide away a lot, I also have a part of me that likes to be seen and comes out and is quite bold and alive and, well, just proud to be me, I guess. So I've just popped them on top of that glittery paint that is gluey, so I know they will attach, but I don't want them to be absolutely stuck down because, well, they're birds, and for me it feels important that they can fly off. So although they're attached, their wings and legs are free. I do want this one, I just don't know where I want it. Okay, great. So I've got my 3 birds, which represent that part of me that loves to be free, to just fly off and go wherever I want to go, whenever I want to go. And my big sort of gaudy daisies that it's like, hi, I'm here. Even though I've got a part that's like, oh my goodness, I'm hiding, don't notice me. Because we're all so different, aren't we? We've got so many different parts of ourselves. And I think it's really important to celebrate all of these parts of ourselves. Oh, well, I have enjoyed this so much, and I so hope that you also have enjoyed it. And I really would love it if you would share what you've created, tag my name so that I don't miss you, and that I can celebrate all the different beautiful, amazing parts of you. And if you'd like to say about your parts, just say a little bit about the different parts of you, please do. And if you'd like to just show your picture and not say anything, that is absolutely fine as well. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will meet you in the group. Lots of love.